Did you know there's a crisis unfolding across Europe? One that might be happening right under our noses, yet many governments seem unwilling to talk about it. It's not about headlines you see every day. This is something deeper, a demographic shift that could reshape the continent for generations to come. Today, we're diving into Europe's quiet crisis, the profound challenge of its aging population, and what it means for the future. Let's start with a simple fact. For any country to maintain its population level, it needs a fertility rate of about 2.1 children per woman. This is called the replacement rate. Now look at Europe. Not a single country on the continent is meeting this target. Italy's rate is around 1.2, Spain's is similar, and even powerhouse Germany is only at about 1.5. This isn't just a statistic. It's a slow-motion demographic earthquake. It means a smaller base of taxpayers to support a growing number of retirees. This brings us to the core of the problem, the pension bomb. Most European countries have pay-as-you-go pension systems. This means today's workers pay taxes that directly fund the pensions of today's retirees. It is a social contract that worked beautifully when there were many young workers for every older person. But what happens when that ratio flips? In the 1960s, there were roughly 4 workers for every pensioner in many parts of Europe. Today, that number is closer to 2 to 1, and it's projected to drop even further, heading towards a 1-to-1 ratio in some nations. This is a mathematical certainty, not a political opinion. The system becomes unsustainable. Governments face a terrible choice. They can dramatically increase taxes on the young, which could stifle economic growth and push talented people to move elsewhere. They could slash pension benefits for the elderly, breaking a promise made to millions who worked their entire lives. Or they could raise the retirement age, forcing people to work longer, which is deeply unpopular and physically difficult for many. So why isn't this front-page news every single day? Why aren't politicians holding emergency summits? The simple, and perhaps cynical, answer is that the solutions are politically toxic. Older citizens are a massive and reliable voting bloc. Any politician who suggests significantly cutting pensions or raising the retirement age risks being voted out of office immediately. Younger generations, on the other hand, are often less politically engaged and more focused on immediate concerns like finding a job or paying rent. The long-term problem gets kicked down the road, passed from one government to the next like a hot potato. It's easier to talk about more immediate, solvable issues than to confront a slow-moving, structural crisis with no easy answers. But the consequences are already starting to show. We're seeing intense pressure on healthcare systems. An older population naturally requires more medical care. From routine checkups to complex surgeries and long-term care for conditions like dementia. Hospitals are strained and the costs are skyrocketing. Who pays for this? Again, it falls on a shrinking workforce. This creates a vicious cycle. Higher healthcare costs demand higher taxes, which puts more financial pressure on the young, who may then decide to have even fewer children, further accelerating the demographic decline. Beyond the economics, there's a cultural and social dimension to this. Think about innovation and dynamism. A society that is top-heavy with older generations may become more risk-averse, less entrepreneurial, and slower to adapt to a rapidly changing world. Entire villages in countries like Italy and Spain are becoming ghost towns, populated only by the elderly. As the young move to cities for opportunities that don't exist back home, these are not just economic zones. They are communities with centuries of history and culture that are slowly fading away. Some might argue that immigration is the solution. And it's true. Immigration has helped to offset some of the population decline in countries like Germany and Sweden. Immigrants are often younger, have higher birth rates, and fill crucial labor shortages. However, relying solely on immigration presents its own set of complex challenges. Integrating large numbers of new arrivals requires massive investment in language training, housing, education, and social services. It can also lead to social tensions and political backlash if not managed carefully and communicated transparently. It's a piece of the puzzle, but it's not a silver bullet that solves the entire problem on its own. Another proposed solution is automation and artificial intelligence. The thinking is that robots and AI can replace the missing workers, maintaining productivity even with a smaller human workforce. This is certainly part of the future. We'll see more automation in factories, logistics, and even in some service roles. But can a robot provide the empathetic care an elderly person needs? Can an algorithm replace the creativity and critical thinking required for innovation? Furthermore, the transition to an automated economy requires a highly skilled workforce to design, build, and maintain these systems. This, again, circles back to the need for a robust education system and a dynamic young population. So, what is the path forward? There's no single easy answer, which is precisely why it's so difficult to tackle. It requires a multi-pronged approach. Governments need to be honest with their citizens about the scale of the challenge. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about having an adult conversation about the future. Policies that make it easier for people to have and raise children are crucial. This means affordable childcare, generous parental leave for both parents, flexible working hours, and tax incentives. Pension reform is unavoidable. This could mean gradually raising the retirement age in line with increasing life expectancy, or shifting towards systems where individuals have more private savings to supplement their state pension. It's about creating a sustainable model that doesn't bankrupt future generations. Finally, we need a cultural shift in how we view aging in work. The idea of a rigid cutoff at age 65 or 67 is becoming outdated. We need to create opportunities for older experienced workers to remain engaged in the workforce, perhaps through part-time roles, mentorship programs, or flexible consulting. Their wisdom and skills are a valuable resource that we are currently wasting. This unseen crisis is one of the greatest challenges Europe will face this century. It's a quiet tide that is slowly eroding the economic and social foundations of the continent. By ignoring it, by concealing the difficult truths for political convenience, leaders are not solving the problem. They are merely guaranteeing that when the dam finally breaks, the flood will be that much more devastating. It's time to start the conversation, to face the numbers, and to build a sustainable future for all generations. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues shaping our world. See you next time.